Live. Everybody.
Hello. Where do we go here too?
Looking for the phone. Why? Why are you so annoying? Looking for the phone. I know. Anyway, continue. Welcome to feminism. Guess what? I can do what the fuck I want. If I want to be late, I can do that.
Whoa. Yeah, I guess. I guess feminism has expanded to being able to be
late.
Free to be you.
Free to be
and
me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of feminists fight for the right to be free in all cases, and it has nothing to do with women.
True.
That's why I don't get it. It's like that would actually be other things like anti-racism or anti.
Well, there's a part of it that is that though, like because there's women in war and stuff, so that's a thing. Like if you care about so and so, then you know what I mean. Do you care about it? Okay, so are we here? Favorite connection. Oh, that's why. Anyway,
Fern's doing some production right now.
Starless Sea. Yeah, I'm doing production. But how do I look in this? Oh, look.
You look good.
And my it goes really well with your background. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
My
nice.
skirt.
Yeah, I like my new background. It's more of a circus around here nowadays.
Very cool.
Sometimes I almost forget it when I'm doing sign language interpreting. I'm like, whoa, almost gave me the circus.
This is our first time using this background together, actually.
Yeah, I think it suits us better, actually.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the. Don't say it out loud.
Instead of watching the world burn, watch the night stars live with Andy and Fern. Instead of watching the world burn, watch the night stars live
with Andy and Fern. Night stars live with Andy and Fern. You're getting good at that.
I can sing it too, yeah. Even though
you're really good at that.
Yeah, even though I'm not a Leo rising. But so didn't we have a really good and awesome?
That was the funnest.
Whoa, there we go.
Here we go.
We finally figured it out.
Ish.
Kind of.
We're in ish mode. Okay, here we go. Okay, are we here? We're
live.
Right,
we're finally live on YouTube, which is what we've been trying to do for months and months. So
nice.
Finally. Okay. Well, all right. Hello, everyone. It's the official start of the show. It's Night Stars Live with Andy and Fern.
Yeah.
And tonight we are talking about feminism, which is a little bit of a weird topic. I'm glad that the moon is conjunct my Saturn right now in the third house because it's time for me to study something serious, Fern.
This is very serious. This is potentially above our pay grade type of serious.
I know. It's like if you weren't as awesome as we are, you might think feminism should be talked about in this kind of fashion. But we're gonna probably talk about it in an exciting fashion.
Yes, let's talk about it. First of all, do you consider yourself a feminist?
Well, first of all, I have to play you a song.
Okay, feminism. Yeah, go for it.
I actually consider myself beyond. I mean, I'm like such a feminist that I wouldn't even say I was a feminist. It's like so obvious that I'm a feminist. I mean, like it's so obvious that I'm a feminist that it's like not even funny.
You're past the point.
You know what I mean? So this is my feminism song for us.
Do you have any
Yes, they're right there. You know the song?
No.
This is a Riot Girl song.
Okay, cool.
It's the queen of the Riot Girls, Kathleen Hanna, which I think the Riot Girls are feminists. They're like the fourth wave or the third wave feminists.
Totally. Hi, Laurel.
See, Laurel knows this song.
Hey, what's up, Laurel?
Laurel's a feminist, I bet. So there's actually a story about Kathleen Hanna where so she's the lead singer in Bikini Kill, which is that band I was just playing, and they're the Riot Girl, version of feminism. But like there was an example, and it got really controversial because she later married a Beastie Boy, which the Beastie Boy, like they had that song like Girls or Girl whatever. So it's like, are they feminists or not? And like she's this total feminist queen, and she like married a Beastie Boy, but they probably had a good compositor. Number one. Number two,
Probably.
she did this campaign when she was playing around with Bikini Kill, where she would make girls able to come to the front to mosh because all the guys kept moshing and like, hurting women by moshing too hard and all this stuff. And then she would scream at them and she'd be like, "Move aside! The girls are coming to the front!" She'd let the girls come to the front and mosh.
Okay.
So that was like a big Kathleen Hanna thing.
That's very cool. The funny thing about feminism is like it made a space for the feminine, the female, the girls,
Mm-hmm.
But then it kind of like it's a confusing place where it's like we need to really make a big deal about the feminine, but then all of a sudden you're like, I don't want to be made a big deal of. Like I want it to be equal, everything equal. So like being equal is not being made a big deal of. You know what I'm saying? Like why do you have to make space for women? Like if they're equal, they can just come in the front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Well,
like that's like kind of creating like a little couching situation for feminine.
Well, I mean, I guess there's a lot of feminists who say like women power, but then there's a lot of feminists who are just like, I just want equal rights. So it's like I think it depends on how you're looking at feminism. I think if we look at it from an oppression standpoint, like women have been oppressed because of their smaller stature physically. It's crazy because women have equal brain stems to men, and they have equal charts, and their spirits are equally strong, but they're physically smaller in stature, and so they do things like get moshed over and things like that. So I think in some ways you have to say like women power in order to bring them to an equal stature.
But really, like biologically, is there a reason? It's cool that they want to be moshing, but like, should you even be moshing in a pile of huge men? Like if you're physically not even biologically born to do that, like if your chart that wasn't set up for you to be a big enough good person to be in a pile of sweaty, dangerous men.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like what are you? What now? You have to change everything just to get in the middle there. Like it's kind of like forcing something.
Well, I think the men kept being at the front of the shows, and the women didn't get to be at the front because the men just kept taking over the front. So I think the question there is, it's like we don't want the women to the back of a show. It's kind of like Rosa Parks the back of the bus. I mean, I think that's
kind of, yeah. But I guess like what is the purpose of feminism? Not feminism like feministism, but like being a feminine. You know what I mean? Like what is the purpose of being a feminine? Like why are people born feminine versus masculine, female versus male? Like there's childbearing that has to do. There's something there. Like there's childbearing.
I mean,
it's a big part of propagating our species. Is like the fact that women are the ones that carry children.
Well, I think one part of feminism, which could be all things connected to things being feminine. I mean, like it would be the celebration of the feminine. I mean, like that is part of it, is to celebrate what it means to be feminine and look at all the good parts of that.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I don't love like I'm not very like woke in the sense that I don't like forcing people to do things that they don't feel like doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And so like and I also think that each aspect of the feminine and the masculine, they're both like equally celebratory. Like we can celebrate aspects of the math. Like there's just something a little bit disempowering sometimes with feminism to me, like on both sides. Like it's like we're kind of emasculating the masculine or degrading the masculine and being like, oh, you're not as important or special. And then we're also saying, but you have to make special you have to change things, especially for us, like make special space for us, but we're also not necessarily respecting and making special space for you. It's like, I don't know, there's just some little bit of like a little bit of a missing loop there for me, where I do feel like there's been amazing advancements. It's kind of like, where do we go from here, I guess. Like, here we are equal, like here we are outside of, um you don't need a big strong man anymore. You kind of want a rich man. See what I'm saying? Why? Because like things have changed. We're not really going with like body size, and that being like their brute strength being the thing that is going to, like, that women are attracted to. It's more like their big bank accounts, instead of their big bodies. So it's like everything has changed. Technology has changed so that we are here now in this like equal space. But now, like, where do we take it, I guess, from here?
Well, okay, so one of the things I do as what I would call a feminist is, and now I have Pluto North Node conjunction Libra, so I think a lot of the Libra outer planet generations have worked on things like feminism and things like that. It's like, I'm actually so woke that I won't even let a man buy me dinner, and it's because I don't want a big bank account from a man. Like, I want an equal partner, which means that I have to stand up and be an equal partner in that relationship too. It's like, I want to make as much money as my boyfriend so that he doesn't have to take care of me and I don't have to be tied to, like, I don't like frameworks where one person's down here and one person's up here. Like, if you're writing off someone's bank account, you're basically oppressed because you're living under the machine of another person. Like, you have to you know that you have to basically live to that person's wishes because you're being funded by them. Like, I don't really like any framework where anyone's energetically oppressed, man, woman, or anything. Like, I guess it's not even about men or women, it's just relationships, I guess, in general.
Well, I hear that. I just feel like that's what I mean about the whole childbearing part that we're kind of missing. Is like, there is, women make the babies. You know what I mean? And so we need time off. Like, we really literally need time off from working a job to stay home and have a baby, and like have the baby on our tit and like feed and change the baby. And there's just like time. We haven't figured out a way where men are also making babies half the time. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And so like I don't like triple the work. Like, I'd rather a man, like. And so here's what we could also do is we could value the labor and the like contribution of the feminine as much as the masculine. Like, it's really about the way that we perceive value of stuff. So if like we're only perceiving that the worth of us is what we contribute financially into the relationship, but there's a lot of ways that we can contribute value into a relationship. And a huge one of those is obviously literally like the majority parenting, which is just how it ends up being when you first are pregnant, carrying a baby for 9 months, giving birth to the baby, recovering from that, breastfeeding the baby. The man can't do any of that. That's literally irreplaceable and extremely expensive to get someone to do for you if you tried to hire someone to do that for you.
Well, okay, so in the duration of a human life, then I would say the 2 years of baby making years and breastfeeding years, because I've had a baby and I know what you're talking about. It's like my baby daddy could not breastfeed the baby, and I had to do all of that, and I had to work. Actually, in my situation, I was doing triple the work, but
did you enjoy that?
Well, I did because I have a power chart, and so I really like hyperfunctioning.
But I don't like putting that on women. To me, that's not feminism to say, like, by the way, like, even though you still have to do all this stuff, now you're equal to men and you also have to do all this other stuff. Like,
well, I know, I'm just saying in my situation,
like,
that was
that's
just
like
that was just the reality of it. I had a baby with a non-financially crazy chart. Like, I just had a baby with somebody who didn't bring in as much as money
exactly
as I did,
and that's what I'm saying. And men, that's where men are the value is actually, if we can see the value equally, like, okay, what's great about you, bud, husband, is that you're paying the rent. What's great about me is I'm making this baby. Like, we're equally important, and the fact that you're creating space for me to do that, super kind and awesome of you. The fact that I'm procreating your species for you, also amazing of me. See what I'm saying? Like, well, it's really they're both valuable.
In the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the biggest lessons is to create win-win relationships in all cases. I think it's important during that 2-year period, especially, to create a win-win situation for the family at large. That is a feminist, like, I think in a feminist situation, there's equal, like a win-win going on all the time. Like both people are winning.
Yes, I think so too. And I think that like we don't like personally for me, I don't like to see it in just like I mean that's what was kind of messed up about the 80s, like working women and stuff like that, is that it ended up being a lot of single moms and everything, because you just be like working, being a single mom, having the kids, never seeing them, having them in daycare. Like it's not the greatest family situation for like for women just taking on all of the roles. You know, you didn't lose any roles, you just took on more roles.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's other ways of going about this. That's why I feel like feminism is like a tree, and we've sort of like branched out, and it's really, and also again, like I'm not woke in the sense of like someone was talking about you know, are we feminists if like we look, we go yay Bush like bomb these people, we go look, we like, or like, oh that's so terrible Bush bomb people, but if Obama bomb people we think it's fine. You know what I mean? Like we don't, there's a lot of nuance in these types of situations, and a lot of times people are just kind of like dogmatically agreeing to the basic like woke concepts of like say feminism or different political stances. And for me, I'm very much a radical, and so I think radicalism is like, it's not taking anything like at its face value. It's really going like, what is this uniquely, what is this situation right now here, and what's the best for everyone right now in this situation. You know what I'm saying? And also like bringing in community, bringing in like localism, you know, bringing in things that like would really benefit and support each other. So like say with like so here's the thing, a lot of people say with Gaza and stuff like that, people are like, oh, are you sure you're a feminist because there's so many women in Gaza who don't have like sanitary pads, and like, you know, they're starving and their kids are dying and all this different stuff. And it's like, you people are just looking away at that, but then caring about all these other feminist things. You know what I mean? And it's like, do we care about women or do we not care about women? You know? And so that's where it's like, I also kind of agree with that in the sense that like, what are we fighting for, basically? Like, you know what I mean? Is it just ourselves? Like, you know, is our own like, or
Well,
is it what is it?
Well, okay, the word feminism. Let's deconstruct the word. If you look back to like Greek, where ism comes from, it comes from a Greek ending itsto, which means to make something about something. So feminism is just all things about being feminine or women. Okay, so you have to look at the situation of the inquiry. Like the situation in Gaza is that the women are don't have enough sanitary pads. And so in that inquiry or that situation or that case, a feminist might take an interest in the women's side of the story and give them what they need. In the case of having a baby, like you're saying, a feminist approach would be to make sure that the woman is taken care of and doesn't have to do 3 times the work, because that would be taking an interest in the needs of the feminine side of the equation, the woman's side of the equation. I mean, I just think at its best, like feminism would be making sure that the women's side of the equation is considered so that we can all have a win-win. Like we need a win-win. That is, I think, with all isms or all anti-oppression framework, we're trying to make sure that it's not a power over structure. It's a power with, like the man and the woman have power with, like it's like power like this.
Yes, I do think that it's like like all isms and schisms, as Bob Marley says, isms and schisms. Like that is kind of saying that like all dogmatic approaches, which is basically like generalized approaches to something. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like as a radical, I don't really do isms and schisms. Like I do more, unique, localized, community-based support, like support focuses on things, and not so much like this is how it is, like in general. Like I never do generalities.
I mean, astrologers are smarter than generalities. It's like we would have to say in the family system of a man and a woman who make a baby, that female's chart and the transit she's in at the time she makes a baby want to manifest certain things. And it's like maybe she is manifesting something in her career as she has the baby, and so her chart wants to work on career while she's tending to her kid. And I think he would maybe help and assist to make sure she can manifest herself as the kid's there too. But in a good family system, an astrologer would help each person become mega manifested. I mean, that's what a lot of what I do as an anti-oppression astrologer is make sure that in couples, not one person is manifesting, the other person is not. It doesn't matter if there's a man or a woman. We sometimes get male charts that are kind of can I say like mamby-pamby charts? Like it's like a lot of men are kind of weak. I mean, astrologically or spiritually. I mean, that's a bold statement, but we're being bold here. It's like you sometimes you can have a weak man, and that actually weakens his female because like she can't be strong without making him seem like he's being abused or like. So I feel like for me, more than being a feminist, I'm an equalist. It's like I'm always trying to make sure everything is equal in every system.
Yes. I can see that, but I guess there's something that's inherently unequal about our existence, like on purpose, like you know what I mean. So equal is a confusing word, I would say.
Well, there's something strong about yin energy, like to say that they're not yin and yang are not equal. I think is like receptivity is equally as strong. Like okay, let's say like going out and attacking the world versus sitting back and being sought after. Those are actually equally powerful, but one's yin and one's yang.
Okay, look at a yin yang. One side of the one, so say the white yin and the black yin. Let's say the black is the yin and the white is the yang. One part of it is very full and bulbous, and then one part of it is just this little tail, and then the same on the other side. So if you look at the whole circumference of the whole circle, each one of them has the exact same amount of same amount of square footage. Let's say, you know what I mean?
Right.
But in the actual, like, if you just look at it like one slice, this right here, this white is way over, and there's only a little bit of black. There's a black tail and the white, you know what I mean? And then here it's like there's really no part in the yin yang where like they're equally, you know what I'm saying, like because there's a big
But they take up an equal amount of space.
They do, but like so exactly, but they're not like just a half and a half. That's right, not yin yang. See what I'm saying?
Well, so you're wanting to be there at ebb and flow throughout the life of a couple so that everyone can be happy.
Yeah, can you imagine? That is interesting, right? Yin yang is not half and half. They could have made it like that, but I think they didn't on purpose. I do really feel like there's a reason why there's some places that fill in that other places cannot fill in. They literally will never get over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's places over here and they just don't want to. Now, do we accept and take on, because based on our chart or based on like our experiences in life or a culmination of those, masculine and feminine roles, in a relationship? Yes. So can we call the masculine and feminine roles? I will right now. You know what I mean? Because we're talking about this and stuff. But like, say the feminine role is like child raising. Okay, obviously he can't like rear the child, but say from 2 months old, she's going back to work and he's like he's got the bottle and he's feeding the baby and stuff. In his chart and his choices, he's like, that fits me better. Not making the money, her making the money. She's actually like this like political analyst that like is really fucking busy. You know what I mean? And I'm just like not that motivated. I'm a Pisces. Like he's just like a viber, and so they match each other. But I still think that like one is assuming like more of like the yang masculine role, you know what I mean, to go out in the world. One is assuming more of the yin role, and it totally works for that relationship. And so that's why I feel like it's more, I'm personally more of like a looking at each person and each relationship and each situation. Now, what do I want? Like the ability to do whatever the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily want people to say, you can't go out and get a job. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to say you have to go out and get a job if you're a feminist. You know what I mean? I don't care either way. I don't really care what people think about me. So I don't want to hear it on either side. I just want to do what works for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely with you. As an astrologer, we have a different take. Like we're actually immune to isms in some ways because we're so individualized and looking at each case. But I do think we are thrivalists. Like we're trying to help our clients thrive and manifest themselves without ever being suppressed. And I think you and I definitely agree on this equation. It's like it's best you have to look at what's best for that family system. And it doesn't matter like who is the female, like there, it matters what the charts say more than like who's male, who's female. And so I think we're actually beyond feminism. Like our generation's beyond.
That's where I feel exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's now branched out into like a many trees, and like there's many new ways to approach like humanism. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we moved into or lifeism. Do we care about life or do we not care about life? Like, do we want to make this world a better place or do we not really care? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, okay, let's talk about the outer planets that have led us here. I think it started like, well, actually, I was looking at first wave feminists were suffragists. They were literally fighting for the right for
so
women
important.
to vote.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, and that
Like,
was a totally different universe. Like you're talking about transits, like that was
different
like they were
outer
in a
planets.
whole different chakra movement.
Right. And so, like, I think there was the Neptune and Libra equalists. Like, let's call it feminist equalists, actually. Does that make it a little bit better?
I
So
think
it's like,
so.
so it's like the Neptune and Libra generation, they were like fighting for equalism in a lot of it was in marriage. And they have Pluto and Leo. And so, like, a lot of those women were really strong of heart. They stood up to their husbands and they were like, no, I'm equal to you and we're going to make a dream partnership. And then, but there was a few subsets of them. There was the Saturn Neptune conjunction in Libra. And those women and men, I think, felt some depression and sadness around any disequilibrium that they found in their partnership. So there's like a little bit of sadness. Then there's the Neptune and Libra square Uranus and Cancer. Those are like anti-oppression. Like I have a friend, he has that, and he's like super anti-oppression, and he's like they're in their 70s now, but they're like still super anti-racist,
new age birthers. So I feel like they were the ones planting the original seeds. They're seeds that went way deep in the ground. And but also there was like in the World War II, men went away. All the men went away, right? Mm-hmm. And women had to take over all the jobs here. So they did everything. Then when the men came back and they went into like the 50s, housewives, that was horrible. And they were on pills. They were miserable because they had just like found themselves. You know what I mean? They were like, now I know how to like do all this cool stuff. I can. I'm sought after. I'm useful, interesting. And then all of a sudden it was like, no, go into your little homes. Don't talk to anybody. Have your kids. Like forget about life. That like the baby boomers' parents basically did that, and that was really terrible for them. And so I think then there was this like response from there to the second wave of feminism, which was like brawllessness, and you know what I mean. There was like this whole. So we got the right to vote. We kind of. But the thing is that it was like putting everybody back in these boxes that we didn't want to be in. We are outgrowing boxes, and that's why I feel like the feminist box to me, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit of a box again. You know what I'm saying? Like because now that we are the plant, it's like these seeds have been planted and then nurtured and watered, and now like literally it's coming out of the ground now, you know. Like this plant is like we're seeing the buds of it and it's happening, and so now we have to respond to what's happening now, you know.
Well, and so I think that the Uranus and Libra generation, they had Neptune and Scorpio, and they were like a lot of like sexual liberation and like liberation. Like Uranus and Libra wants to like have fun with new partnerships, and so I think there was a lot of people crossing race lines and crossing into like non-monogamy and like doing a lot of like experimenting with openness and electricity in relationships in order to find equality.
Totally.
And that was just a different generation of feminism. I don't think we like equate with like first, second wave feminists, but like the second wave feminists were in the 60s. I mean, maybe that was the Neptune and Libra. I'm not sure what the calculations are, but
that was definitely like some of that Libra stuff for sure. It was the 60s. Yeah. It was like saying, and then the 80s there was like a lot of Scorpio, right? It was like
that was like the Pluto and Scorpio, but we're the Pluto and Libra generation, and I feel like our generation is like bomb equalist. That's why like you're like just like, no, I'm an equal. Like we don't even put that feminism on me because we are so beyond that. Like our Neptunes are in Sag where we're like freedom fighters. We're like we're free beyond these labels. We're we're like beyond feminism. Like we're flying in our charts is what we're trying to do.
Exactly. And I really honor like all contributions and all sides, you know, like that Pluto and Libra, and my Mars in Libra, so I'm backing it up with my own personal experience.
You're a total activist of like I can't imagine you ever not being treated equally in any union because your Mars, Pluto, and Libra is like a fighter for just like you say you'll confront situations so that you're like standing up strong in that situation. Like I've always seen you as being like definitely hanging with the big dogs as far as like the men, you know.
Right. But at the same time, you know what's funny is that like I kind of like I have the guy that I hang out with often, he only pays, like, and I really like that, like, because it's comforting to me. It's like peace, you know, like it's like easy. It's his love language. Here, let's be honest, like it's more specific. It's like his love language. He doesn't say out loud I love you, but what he does is go like, I got dinner. Like he wants to get dinner, you know what I mean? And I like accepting that experience, a love language in terms of reception for me is probably people paying for my dinner or something, you know what I mean? So like it works out really well. Does it have, do I feel like, okay, now I need to put that out on everybody else? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Absolutely not. But like for me, I also don't, I'm not just like, no, because I'm a woman, because it's 2024, you can't pay for it. I don't, that's what I'm saying is that like, I don't care like what other people think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I'm comfortable with it. It makes me happy.
Well, and that's good for you. I just like I don't know if you've ever heard of apologizing, but it's when people buy you stuff and then expect things from you. It's like I'm so vibrational sensitive that I don't even like to be nice to somebody when they're bad vibing me on a weird transit. And it's like if they buy me dinner or buy me anything, then there's like this expectation that I need to be nice to them later. And it's like I don't want to be nice to you on a bad transit. Like I want to fight with you on the transit where we're fighting, and I want to be peaceful on the transit where we're peaceful. And it's like I'm an expressionist, and one of the reasons I don't like people to buy me stuff is I don't like them to purchase nice behavior. Like
Now,
my chart is not nice.
What
like,
if
you know?
What if they buy you stuff and then you still don't have to be nice to them? That's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, then
I
feel bad later when I'm being
and
mean.
and that's what I'm saying is that that's really your choice to care.
Yeah, and that's
like,
my
how they
I have
feel.
Mars in the second house, and like I get mad when people owe me money, and I get mad when I owe people money. Like
Exactly.
I just get aggravated around money, so it's better for me to just not share money with people. That's just me, you know.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying, and that's super perfect for you. But like, if we extrapolate it out into feminism, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I don't like it. Like, I don't like people being like, well, you're a feminist, you shouldn't let him buy dinner. I can let him do whatever the fuck I want because I'm a fucking feminist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm allowed to do what I want to do. If I want to let him buy me dinner, that's like perfectly fine.
Well, okay, can we agree that it has to be a win-win? It sounds like in that situation, that's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. It's a total win-win. And honestly, if it wasn't, it wouldn't feel correct. It wouldn't feel good. You know what I mean? Because I am pretty like obviously Pluto, Mars, and Libra. One thing I'm very clear about energetically is like inequality. You know what I mean? I'm always like vibing. Does this feel balanced and equal and stuff like that? And like I told you, I think that like part of my Pluto, Mars, and Libra is quick karma, you know, like I'm supposed to clear out my karma while I'm here still on earth so I can like get out of here and not come back or whatever. And so that's the same thing. It's like if I'm gonna, I don't want big inequalities, big unequalness, so that then I have to deal with that later. That's literally an imbalance of karma, and you're coming back to fucking fix it later. I never let it get that far. You know what I'm saying? So it feels good. I'm just like, yeah, please do. And I love that. And like he loves doing it because he doesn't know how else to like tell you he loves you, so he's just like, you know, just sweet.
I don't know how much I can speak to that relationship, but I think there's ways that he kind of doesn't like it, like I don't know, because it's a like never mind, like it's just I just feel like
I love it. No, this is what we're doing.
Okay.
Feminism is a hard subject.
I just feel like because there's like a poly thing going on there, like like him showing. Okay, one of the things I learned when I was poly is that if I show up on time for everybody, they feel respected.
Yeah.
I think when you're poly, like there are ways to show that you love somebody, even though you can't like be monogamous.
Right.
Like
totally.
So I feel like that's kind of like a fixed workaround in that situation.
I agree, and I think you're right. Like he feels like, let me show you how much I value you. Basically, like I value you, and he associates that with like paying for everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Which I think is a nice show of a force, basically, in that situation, because he can't. You guys you're letting each other be authentic to your chart, which is beautiful, and so like he can be authentically showing force in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Where he's just incapable of it in other ways.
So that's actually super kind of feminist win-win, where you're letting him be free to be his chart.
Yeah, it's true. Now, was it feminist for me to be in a marriage for 10 years where I was like basically the breadwinner and I was literally like constantly back at zero and could not get ahead in my own life?
Oh, and I can see why him paying
that was
like
hellish.
Fixes your ancient trauma with that, because it's like that, like that was not a win-win. That was not fair.
It was not good. Yeah.
It
sucked.
That's not. Let's actually say our charts are not feminist. We're equalists.
Yeah, we're
because that Pluto North node is equal. And I think that's where we've evolved beyond the feminists. Like the first wave feminists had to fight for the right for women to vote, so we could get to equalism.
So
like they've done all this pre-work so that our generation is like, no, we're equal. Duh. Like Doesville, we're equal.
Right.
And it's like, so in that case, that wasn't a win-win, and that wasn't equal. It's not equal for one person to have to carry the other person financially. That's actually not fair.
Exactly, and it's detrimental to your experience. Like I couldn't really like
be
be creative. Yeah, exactly. Like I couldn't get my life like out and going because I was like creating, like carrying someone else like a little, like an adult baby. You know?
Exactly. That's like an adult being with a baby. Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the reasons that I always pay for my own dinner, is because it's like I'm actually super forceful to the point where it's like I'm not a fucking baby. I'll pay for my own dinner. Like it's just like part of me being like a superhuman. Like it's just like, no thanks, I'm not your baby. Like yeah, whatever. Like I'm just not the world's baby. It's like I'm the world's top dom. You know what I mean?
And no, you are. Yeah.
And so it's like I like to dominate financially in every way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like broke artists, I'm just like, yeah, not my thing. I'm like, I'll be a rich artist, thanks. But that's not because I'm a philanthropist. Actually, it's like the only reason I want money is so I can be a philanthropist. It's not like I'm like, so I guess I'm an expressionist dominance artist, where it's like, the more money you make, the more money you can give away to people who need it. Like, I'm just not into the paucity. Like I'm into thrivalism.
Yeah, and what's funny is that like I've even thought about it, because I'm absolutely agree. Like I'm total like big time manifester, and I'm literally pregnant with massive wealth. You know what I'm saying? It's like in the unseen, huge wealth is happening. And so I've literally thought about it with my friend. I'm like, I would give him a credit card so he could still pay, because he's just like, I want like him to still have that experience of, you know what I mean? Like I will eventually have way more money than he does, so it'd make more sense for me to just like, for the experiences that I'm gonna want to have, like for me to pay for them, because I'm gonna have like, but I still kind of like our dynamic, like, to be totally honest. It's like, it's sexy.
Totally, I love that. And I what I hear you saying is like, I like a man who's capable of like just being like, yeah, no problem, I'm paying. Like, yeah. But I think you also have some like trauma from the marriage where you had to pay for everything. Yeah. So it's like, this is actually healing trauma. Exactly. It's like, and for you, like I really like advocate you letting him pay in this situation. That's a win-win.
Yeah. And I just said sexy. Like, there is, to me, like, it's a little sexy to be the femme, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like for him to be like, I got this, like, just like, I'm not like the big I'm not the dom. I like to be the sub in the masculine feminine situation, you know what I mean? I'm like hyper feminine.
And this is where you're a really interesting case, and a person is actually multiple parts according to their chart. It's like Virgo is actually servile a little bit. Like it's like, how can I help you? Like I'm a little bit humble. Like it. No, Leo's a little bit more dominating. And Sag is a little like servile, wild. It's just like, what? I'm just trying to have fun. Yeah. It's like I'll move around and have some fun here, But I think your Mars Pluto will always fight for equality. Like, so in one moon cycle of Fern's life with this guy, it's like, yeah, when it goes into that Virgo on the second, first, or whatever, right. You'll be like, oh my god, thank you so much for paying for me. Like, I feel like I can be this like yin doll. I just want to be a doll, right? Like, But then when you have a transit to your Mars Pluto, you might just be like, honey, are we cool? Like, are we feeling good? Is this a win-win still? And then it's like, I just trust that your chart will always check in and make sure it's a win-win.
Which is funny, because why is this poly thing working for me? Me not being the poly, but like someone being poly, is because probably like I'm not always on just like one mode either. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like open to my own like independence, basically. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm kind of like, I think if I was in a total locked in relationship, I might be like, okay, I'm playing this role for too long. Like, I have a whole other side to play, Which is like,
and you're very energetic with your Moon Neptune conjunction. I wouldn't be surprised if you two have a really beautiful composite chart and like really nice synastries, because what I found is that's actually more important than, are you polyamorous, are you monogamous? It's like, do we vibe or not? You know? And I think it sounds like you guys do.
Totally. So are you pretty much equal in your situation here?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if anything, I would say that my chart is a little bit more domineering energetically than my partner. He's like super earthy and kind of subdued. And so I feel like sometimes it feels unequal, because like but I have this problem in every partnership I have, is that like my chart's like a little too powerful. Like no one can keep up with me. They're always like, you're too much. He never tells me I'm too much. He never acts like that. But I think sometimes with his subdued nature, it's like, is he enough for me? Kind of question. And it's like, I will say with my baby daddy, his chart's equally as dominating as mine is. He has a Sun Mars conjunction of Leo, and like we just fight. Like It's just like God, like fight. But we're really productive and creative. Like when people are fighting, they're more productive and creative, and we have a beautiful composite chart, so we choose to stay together and fight. Totally. And like I just couldn't be married to that energy anymore because there was you're not enough. How's that? Shane just told me I was too much.
She's
Just
like,
kidding.
Like, I don't tell you enough, honey. You're too much.
Whatever. You're perfect. You're perfect. No, but like if we looked at the win-win of it, like he's grounding to my intensity. Like if there's two like people like me and my baby daddy, it's just like a constant battle of energies and manias. You know? And like, but my partner does have an equal. This is where it is equal. He has a T square in his chart, and he goes through manias on that T square, and so he knows what it's like to be a powerhouse of mania. Like he gets in bad moods, and he like has the mood issue. But I have 3 squares, so I do 3 weird moods a week, where he does 1, and so it's like he has enough mania to understand my mania, but he doesn't. He's more calm than I am, so we don't have to like be a storm. Like in the tension release cycle of things, we release enough to like not be too tense.
Totally.
But we're definitely like we both have a Pluto North Node conjunction on itself in Libra, like at the same degree. We're born a month apart, so we constantly are exactly we just equalize everything. Like, and one of the reasons I can hang out with him a lot is because we're always doing everything equally. That's what feels good to us.
Yeah. So feminism was actually like my first activism, like, you know, being, and I do, speaking of isms, like I do consider myself an activist of some sort sometimes, like depending on what I'm focused on activating, I guess. But feminism for sure, like when I went to college, I remember visiting all these SUNY colleges, which is like state universities in New York. There's like a bunch of little ones, bunch of different ones, and I would like go and like find the women's, you know, groups and stuff right away, and just like check out they had these cool rooms where like they're all, I remember like I wanted a tattoo of like the female sign. Like I was so obsessed with like feminism in like high school going into college. And I think it was like I have 3 older stepbrothers, I have a younger brother, I have no sisters and everything, and I think it was my first like wanting to right the wrongs, you know, like get myself like, and also I saw my mom being like super submissive to my stepdad, like in a way that pissed me off, like it bothered me, you know, like where she wasn't like, she would just be like, oh, ask your dad, and he wasn't my dad, but she'd be like, ask him. Oh, I don't know, ask him. Like it was actually like weak. It was like basically losing your, like not taking responsibility or authority for yourself just because like you were lazy, kind of, you know what I mean? So you're just like, I don't know, ask the man of the house, like, you know. And I'm in high school, I'd just be like, fuck the man of the house, like I'm the man, you know. So I like really wanted to change everything up. I even thought I was like a lesbian for a while. I was really like so different, like so into feminism, you know. But yeah, I learned a little bit more.
I feel like you're a powerfulism, like with your Mars Pluto. It's like that's what I call thrivalism. Like, well, I want to talk about you and me for a second, because like I'm kind of the dude in the relationship. Like if we had to like pick a dude,
I would say.
But you're totally a man too. Like you're a real man. Like I feel like you're one of my female friends. Probably the only female friend I can say I have that I feel equal to, because you're strong. Like your Mars Pluto is strong enough for me. Like so I can actually literally relax with you.
Yeah, you're comfortable and safe with me.
Yeah, I never feel like I'm too much for you. If I push on you, you just push back on me, and like we dance, and so I feel like we have an equal thing.
I love your face sometimes when you think you're like coming up with like a big wave, and then I'll be like, and so, and you'll just be like, okay, yeah, I see you like just like being like, all right, we're actually going at this, like the 2 of us now. It's not just like me like taking over and stuff, and that is. But that's what I feel like. I'm grateful to be super femme, you know what I mean? And also completely radical. That's what, like, for it's more like my radicalism is like very, whatever you want to call it, you know, like it's, and I think I am like androgynous in certain ways, like, you know, have like masculine, feminine, probably like even chemically and like definitely in my chart and stuff, you know. But I do choose. That's what I'm saying, because I'm into choice, you know, like personal choice. So I just choose to wear like feminine things and look feminine, and like I choose to do whatever I want, and sometimes I do it just to like piss people off, you know, like sometimes I think I'm almost like a little bit of an agitator, you know.
Well, I'm an agitator too, and like your Pluto Mars is on my Pluto North Node conjunction, so like I think we are fighting for equality and spiritual freedom with our Neptune and Sagittarius. Like we are like for example, one of the things I do is agitating the gender conversation. Like, like I'll be like, well, my chart's a 3 spirit, and like and then people will be like, oh, you're appropriating 2 spirit. I'm like, no, I'm not. Astrology understands there's 3 aspects of personality in one chart, and it is your spirit. And like, but like my 28th degree is a total dude. Like it's a Sun Mars square, and it's super masculine, right? And like, but like my 14th degree is a Pisces moon, is super feminine. So it's like, I actually am an activist agitator too, and I'm fighting for equality of spirit, which is the Neptune and Sag. Is like, well, let's do a win-win depending on what our spirits want to do, not like if you're in a male body or a female body.
Exactly.
So what do you think about the fact that feminism is actually a binarism? Like it's actually upholding the binary, and we're like beyond the binary.
That's totally where I feel like we've outgrown feminism. You know what I mean? Because we're just like holding on still to these, and that's where I think we're not sure yet how like trans comes into feminine. Like, what do we do now? Like, if things have changed, and we're not really the same as we were when we like needed these same things. Now we need almost, I've personally, like, okay, I'm gonna be totally honest, I actually feel like we need, this is gonna sound really weird and people are probably gonna hate me, but I think we actually need like a little bit of a masculine empowering movement, like just because of the equalism thing that I'm into, you know what I mean? Like I feel like there's been a lot of emasculization, and like I think that there's no dads, like men don't know what the fuck to do to be a guy and how to like be themselves and be a guy, or be like just to exist with a penis and stuff, they're like, okay, I'm here, I'm doing that, like, what do? I don't know. And like I think there's just like, we need to empower like the self-worth of all beings, in their existence, in whatever like spectrum that they're in.
I actually agree. Like I'm like, can the guys not be so soft? It's like, I'm so sick of the soft weepy dude. It's like, can I get a fucking alpha around here? Like, do I have to be the alpha? Like, I like having an alpha.
Exactly. And that's why I feel like wielding this sword of feminism has kind of like accidentally cut off a lot of dicks. You know what I mean?
It's like we have eunuchs walking around.
Yeah, totally. And like, why not like kind of meet each other in the middle and go like, I honor whoever you are, whatever, like it's almost like a spectrum of like many pie slices, you know what I'm saying? We're kind of like in this spectrum of the feminine, this spectrum of the masculine, whatever body you're in, like, and we come to the middle and go like, where are you at, and what are you coming in at? Like, I want to honor that, Yeah,
it's really like, I sometimes feel like Shane and I are so equal that I'm like, it's not hot in a way, because you're like, can you be a man? Like, I just want a fucking man.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean? But it's like,
because that feminizes you.
Well, exactly, because gender is actually a spectrum and a performance. Kind of like, the more masculine your man acts, the more feminine. Like, I can't actually be that feminine because I'm like I'm not held in the space of a masculine. I mean, totally. I am, like, Shane is he's like cerebral masculine, sure. But I'm just saying that, like,
no, a lot of people say that. A lot of women say that.
Okay, yeah. I just feel like, so I actually agree with you, but I want to talk about something real quick.
Okay, go for it.
Did you hear about how the Michigan Women's Music Festival, which was like a super feminism music festival, you remember about Camp Trans? Did you ever hear about this?
Tell me.
So basically, when all these like butch lesbians started to transition into males, like, then they couldn't get into the Michigan Women's Music Festival anymore because they were now male.
Oh my God, no.
So then they made a Camp Trans outside of Michigan, and there was this big thing, and I think he shut Michigan down because there was a fight between the trans guys and the women. And so, so I think that's proof of like how we're kind of beyond the binary of feminism, to say like we've opened up gender beyond the binary, and so it can't just be feminism anymore. It's got to be like equalism, win-winism, like thrivalism.
Yes.
Like
now I did go to San Francisco like for like, this is back in like 2003. I moved down to San Francisco, but before I moved down there, I went down there for this like big women's like performance weekend or whatever, right? And it was really interesting because I was doing spoken word as a single mom, like that was my whole thing, like Hip Mama and all this magazine and stuff. And so that's how I was like speaking up for women, kind of was like, I'm like, wow, I have like the ability, the talent and the ability to like do these poems and do this spoken word and stuff like that for women who are just so hand to mouth with their little toddlers, and they don't actually have the like to speak out about like what this life is like, to just be this like single mom. And so anyway, I go down to San Francisco, and it was all lesbians and trans men.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really interesting because I was like, where the feminism didn't include mothers at all.
Wow.
Yeah, totally. You know what I mean? And it was like
Fascinating.
such a different world where I'm like, wait, I feel out of place, but like I'm just like a single mom, like feminist, you know?
Yeah.
But like that was not, there was really no place for that. There wasn't even like an interest in it in some ways, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm saying, like, I'm always like gonna bring in the other, like I'm always gonna bring in another perspective and like make sure we're all represented, basically. You know what I'm saying? Even when it's weird and awkward.
I want to reframe your Mars Pluto in Libra in the third. Do you agree it's in the third?
Yeah.
Okay. As like communicating and writing and being an activist in language about equalism, thrivalism, win-wins, like everyone's equal, everyone gets to thrive. Like no one, it's like power with is what they call it in like activism. It's like not power over, it's power with.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
But I'm with you, man. Like I just want, how can we like, what's like the opposite of toxic masculinity of like, what, like hot masculinity or like sexy masculinity? It's like I want some sexy masculinity up in this.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying like it's sexy when. That's what I'm saying. Even if I had like millions, I would still give him the cards and he could pay. So like, because that's kind of hot, like to me, for you to pay, not for me now that I have all these millions still pay for us. You know? Like that. I don't want to like take you along. I want you to like also still provide, you know, and just show me like that you can and that you want to. And I choose, and I think a lot of women say that is like, basically here's what this new like this new space around the masculine feminine is they go, if you're not showing up, like not just 50-50, but like, you know, really showing up in like helping me become a yin, you know, like helping me like relax, helping like taking my load off, you know, a little bit, then I will fucking show up, because guess what we have to do out here? Survive in these streets, you know what I'm saying? And so surviving these streets is like me turning into a masculine, you know, like and like going to get my fucking, you know, like $50 on the street or whatever, like I'm hustling because I have to. But if I don't have to, then I can actually show up as like there's a lot of amazing qualities about the feminine that kind of like show up when we have space to create, like literally birth obviously is one of them, but there's a lot of other ones, you know, like there's just a unique special thing that we have, that's why I kind of want to like honor that too, to be honest, you know.
It's and like I'm a little like I just want to add to your equation because like my chart's such a ball buster of like I think we all should be fucking dominating. Like it's like I feel like there's this idea like I should be taken care of so I can sit around eating bonbons and chill, and I'm like, my chart does not chill. I have no chill. I don't want to chill. Like don't make me chill. Like it's actually so hard for me to suppress my energy that it's like people are like, you do so much, you're so busy, do you ever rest? I'm like, my manias do not let me rest. Do you understand? Like if we don't run my manias all day, like I'm gonna get sick, like I will get mentally ill, you know.
But like, wouldn't it be cool if you just had space to run your manias all day and not like you know, also make a living, you know what I'm saying?
Well, like my chart likes to make a living. Like every time I make money, I'm just like, bam, gamification of living. Like it's like that's the points in the game of success. It's like I am like, but like my chart has Mars and Jupiter in the second. Like it likes money. Like it doesn't want like. But okay, but like I have to tell you, like my man has like Pluto North Node in the second, and he came in trying to pay for me as a show of force and like to be the man, and like I took that away from him. I wouldn't have let him show that force that way. So I think he's still trying to figure out like a year and a half later, like how do I act like the man, so that Andy can relax.
That you would let me do
exactly
that,
because and I don't know what the answer to that is, honestly.
Yeah, and I think that that's a unique situation because like you are just so personally, uniquely like powerful, you know, and like there is no way for you to like step out of your power like at any moment, it's almost like you're getting eunuched basically, you know what I mean, because you do have this like very strong masculine like I think you're very feminine as well. I think we're really similar like that, like we can kind of mix and match, but at the same time, like for me, I love to like I want to write a book. I want to just do other things that don't have anything to do. I want someone to like handle certain aspects of it, but at the same time, I don't want it to be so like so set up like that all the time that then they become lazy or it gets toxic or confusing or they're like buying my like allegiance.
Like it would be cool for you to have like an artist grant, like, and it's like
Exactly.
it's like that. It's like, can the government be your dom top
Yeah,
and give you
that's
a grant?
not yes. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm more like pregnant with my. I mean, who impregnated me with this immense wealth that's coming for me? Who? Like, me and God are working on this. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I'm working with the abundance of the universe. I'm not really like worried about other people providing that because I really don't trust like people to not take advantage of me.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like that's why I like to fund all my art, because then like when people critique my art and be like, not taking that critique because I'm funding this and I'm in charge of it. Like I actually do it for creative control purposes.
Totally.
Like, so if someone even if a grant funded me, then I would have to be under that grant.
Exactly. It has to be like you independently wealthy kind of thing more than anything.
Well, it has to be me making my own money by my own work, but it's like that's fine. We're all different, and like each of us has a different thing. But I think you and I can agree on one thing, which is that all of us should get our chart needs met, like all the time.
I totally agree with that. And in the composite, we can like respect the unique way that it matches up, right? Like it's like, okay, so I got some cards. So we didn't do our transit our cards. Oh my god, this is so cool. Okay.
Well, I want to say the transit is Mars conjunct Uranus, baby, and so like it's kind of a revolutionary energy. It's cool that we're like you're kind of popping today. You came in fighting, and it's like that's like that Mars Uranus is like we're trying to bust things up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, so we got the High Priestess, which is so cool. High Priestess, it's like feminism. And they never fail with us in the tarot. It's so funny. Yeah, the High Priestess, which is also like the mystery and magic of the feminine, which is really cool too. Like the High Priestess is like you'll never know what's behind these curtains. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something really special and magical behind here. So there's this powerful feminine energy there. And then we have the Strength card and the Sun card.
Whoa!
Is that crazy? Yeah,
Be strong.
Yes. That is so crazy. The sun.
I can even read that tarot.
I know, right? It says strength and it says confidence and it says sun life. So yeah, this is definitely like saying, like they're saying yes, like the feminine is powerful, is a life bringer, is strong, is like, and the sun is actually masculine too. So they're saying like it's all mixed up, we can kind of be ourselves. But Eight of Cups is also leaving, so is walking away from stuff. And so I feel like they're saying what we were talking about, which is that like we're leaving the old versions of them, like there's like third wave, fifth wave, whatever, fifth wave, like fifth dimension, like we're on a new wave, like the straight up new age wave of feminism. And so they're saying we need to walk away from like the old ways of doing stuff and really look towards like the unique, the power, like how are you empowered, like how are you feeling confident, how are you feeling life, like that's where you are a great feminist or a great lifeist, a great person who loves life, basically. So isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, and what I want to read in these cards is like what Fern and I are fighting for, and I think we agree on, is that everyone should be able to feel like this, man and woman. And the stronger the men are, the more the women can do this. See how she's like relaxed on this lion? It's like she's relaxing on her lion. And like that's what would be like if my man was this strong, that I could be like chilling and holding the whole cosmos. Like this to me would be like the perfect algorithm of like man and woman, and then this is like when all people are expressed, like we all are expressing our sun, our moon, like all things,
And that's what I feel like the new age is. Let's be totally honest. Like it's us really activated at our 100%. And so with nothing in our way, not money, not isms and schisms, you know what I mean? Not dogmatism, like nothing is in our way, so that we can just really like benevolently give at our best experience. And then everyone else is like receiving that, and then they're doing it too. And we're all just like literally lifted up and matching each other at that new level. You know? So it's really exciting.
It makes me think of the lecture I'm going to be giving in March to the Las Vegas stargazers on mega manifestation.
Oh,
like
totally.
How to make the most of every transit you ever have.
That's so cool. Yeah. Well, I'm so excited for your history making. Like you really are a feminine history maker. I want you to know that.
But I want you to know I am beyond feminism.
Yeah, but you are a born woman making history in this special age that is like turning us into a whole new age of beyond it. At the same time, like us being beyond it is literally the future of being beyond it. Because like right now the culture is not totally beyond it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But us being beyond it is like getting us all beyond it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah, we're bridging the gap. Cool.
Well, this was a great talk.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, we
Alright.
rocked it out.
Yeah, we did.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right,
you guys.
thank you, guys.
Thank you, YouTube. Thank
Have
you,
a wonderful
Facebook.
night. Bye.
Take care, everybody. Bye. Cool. End stream.